Hello there, a very good evening. You're watching news live on Channel I. I'm Javed Bongzo. We begin with the headlines of tonight's news. A woman who attended Zahran Hashim's classes reveals she and 15 other pledged suicide attacks. AstraZeneca vaccine has been given to more than 300,000. More than 93% completely recovers from the virus. Investigations are being conducted on the new coronavirus hybrid variant found from the US. 240 new variants reported from India. Foreign Minister says Sri Lanka is prepared to face a biased human rights report together with friendly countries. The UMP accepts there were shortcomings and wrongs for party members during its rule. Now for those and other stories in detail. Police say that they are questioning Mohammed Ibrahim Shahida, who was arrested by the Terrorist Investigation Division on the 19th of this month. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana disclosed it during a media briefing yesterday. The suspect, who is a resident of Mavanalla Hingula area, has been arrested on suspicion of terrorist activities after attending extremist classes conducted by Zahran Hashim in 2018. After questioning her, the Terrorist Investigation Division has found another 14 women have attended the extremist classes. 5 of them have died after exploding bombs by them at Sain the Mardu. Another 3 women have been remanded. DIG Ajit Rohana said this woman with another 7 women are under the custody of Terrorist Investigation Division on detention orders. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said that following the questioning of the woman, it was found that 15 women have given a pledge to Zahran Hashim on the last day of his class. Accordingly, they are prepared to launch suicide attacks for Islam extremism at any moment. He said that further investigations are being conducted into the incident.
Bodhi Puja was held yesterday in connection with the 84th birthday of the Chief Sanganayaka of Colombo and Chilao and the Chancellor of Calne University, Venerable Dr. Vallamitiyave Kusaladhamma Thera. It was held at Paliyagoda Vidyalankara Mahapiriwana under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Prime Minister, who called on Venerable Dr. Vallampitiya Kusaladhamma Thera, wished him good health and long life to further his services to the country. Acting Director of Vidyalankara Mahapiriwana, Venerable Vallampitiyave Gnanaratana Thera commended the arrival of Prime Minister to wish Venerable Dr. Vallampitiyave Kusaladhamma Thera, who has performed an immense service to the country's education, religious and social sectors. Chief Monk of Attanagalla Rajamahaviharaya, Venerable Pannila Ananda Thera, Chancellor of Sabragama University, Venerable Professor Kumurugumwe Vajra Thera and several state ministers were present on the occasion.
The epidemiology unit says that the AstraZeneca vaccine has so far been provided to 302,857 persons under the COVID-19 inoculation program. The AstraZeneca vaccination program was successfully implemented today. The vaccination program was implemented for the 24th day today. 39,078 have been given vaccines yesterday. COVID-19 vaccines are being given at high-risk areas in Panadura Medical Health Officers Division. Vaccination of the people in Panadura Hirana West Gramanildari Division took place for 4 days. 835 injections have been given so far. Vaccination is taking place at 5 places in the Gampaha district. It is taking place at Gampaha Madagama, Bulugahagoda, Parakandenia North, Valivaria North and Imbulgoda Gramanildari divisions. Under the first phase, 60,000 persons in high-risk areas will be given the vaccines. The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has increased to 74,299. It is a percentage of 93.18. Another 5,000 COVID-19 patients are under treatment at various treatment centers. 17,138 have left the hospitals from the beginning of this month after recovering from the virus. Another 843 persons have left hospitals after recovering from the virus today. Another 254 COVID-19 patients were detected in the island today. All of them were close associates of the Paligoda cluster. 15,892 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday. A total of 2,019,267 PCR tests have been conducted so far in the country. 2 more COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. The victims were residents of Kuruvita and Tiharia. The deceased were in the age groups of 66 and 78. Police said that 12 persons who ignored health protective measures were arrested during the 24 hours ended at 6 a.m. today. 3,202 persons have been taken into custody so far in connection with the offence.
Well, with that now let's take a look around the COVID update. Look globally in brief. Well, on your COVID update globally, the world's richest countries have promised more money to buy vaccines for the global poor during G7 summit. Well, meanwhile, coronavirus has killed more than 2.46 million people and infected over 111.1 million globally. Speaking to G7 leaders via video recently, US President Joe Biden pledged his country would contribute $4 billion to fund the rollout of the coronavirus vaccine for poor nations, doubling the amount of money initially projected. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen also promised greater funding for COVAX, with Berlin set to increase its contribution by 1.5 billion euros. The European Commission, meanwhile, promised to double its contribution to 1 billion euros. But the World Health Organization has warned that it is still far from reaching its funding target and is hoping wealthy nations will pledge further financial support. Well, COVAX is aiming to purchase 2 billion vaccine doses for 92 low and middle-income economies by the end of the year and intends to make its first vaccine deliveries in the coming days. Well, the goal is to inoculate at least 20% of national populations, with high-risk groups and medical staff taking priority. WHO head Tedros Ghebreyesus has urged richer countries, which so far have secured the lion's share of vaccine doses, to donate their surplus supplies to poorer nations and ensure equal access to inoculations. The United States had recorded more than 28.07 million COVID-19 cases as of Saturday, with over 100,000 new cases registered within the past 24 hours. The United States, making up around 4% of the world population, accounts for over a quarter of the total confirmed cases and over 20% of the deaths reported worldwide so far. Meanwhile, India now remains the country with the second highest number of confirmed COVID-19 cases, just after the United States. The country has reported more than 10,991,000 cases, along with over 156,000 deaths. 240 new strains of the virus have surfaced across India, which are alleged to be behind the fresh surge of infections that the Maharashtra state has been witnessing since last week. Besides Maharashtra, 4 more states, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Punjab, have been witnessing a spike in numbers. Brazil ranks third in the world in the number of COVID-19 cases after the United States and India, while second in deaths behind the United States. Brazil has registered 1,212 deaths from COVID-19 in the past 24 hours, raising the death toll to nearly 246,000. The country also reported 57,000 more cases, bringing the national count to 10.1 million. In the United Kingdom, another 10,406 people have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total number of coronavirus cases in the country to 4.1 million. The country also reported another 445 coronavirus-related deaths. The total number of coronavirus-related deaths in Britain now stands at 120,365. Meanwhile, Italy registered 14,000 new infections within the past 24 hours, raising the total caseload to over 2.79 million. The number of new victims had risen by 251 to a total of 95,400. Italy has listed 2 of the cities and towns in Rome as red zones for COVID-19 as the infection rate remains high and virus variants run rampant in the country. Meanwhile, Italy has marked the anniversary of the country's first coronavirus case. In the years since the first case was identified, Italy has lost more than 95,000 people to the virus, the second highest death toll in Europe. More anniversary commemorations were scheduled across the country on Sunday. The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases on the African continent reached 3.8 million as of last evening. The number of COVID-19 infected deaths in Africa has reached 100,700 so far. South Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt and Ethiopia are the countries worst affected by COVID-19 in Africa in terms of the number of confirmed cases. South Africa has reported the highest number of COVID-19 inflicted deaths in Africa at 48,800, while Egypt and Morocco reported the second and third most deaths at 10,250 and 8,540 respectively.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison was injected today with the first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine jointly developed by Pfizer and BioNTech as the nation started its inoculation program a day ahead of schedule.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison rolled up his sleeve on Sunday to receive one of the first vaccines in the country. Earlier, he sat next to 84-year-old Jane Malishak, the first person among a handful of Australians being injected at a medical centre in Sydney. The two shared a funny moment as they attempted to hold up a V for vaccine hand gesture.
So from tomorrow, tens of thousands of Australians over the course of the next week can confidently come forward from those key priority groups that have been defined to ensure that we move into this next phase of how we've been preparing and dealing with COVID-19.
Up to 4 million Australians are expected to receive the vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech by March. The vaccine is voluntary. Older Australians, aged care staff and frontline workers will be the first in line to be vaccinated. Australia aims to inoculate the vast majority of its 25 million citizens by October. That comes as the government pledged a public campaign so people turn up for a vaccine shot. But one place it won't be advertising is Facebook, as a feud continues over the social media giant blocking news content from its platform for Australian users.
Foreign Affairs Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has emphasized that the report of the UN Human Rights Commission is partial. Expressing his view, the minister said that Sri Lanka is prepared to face it with the friendly countries at the forthcoming Human Rights Council meeting. Foreign Affairs Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the report of the Human Rights Commissioner is partial. Either she or her representatives did not come to Sri Lanka to check whether the information is correct. Since the victory of the president up to now it has said what the government did was wrong. This is an internal issue. According to the Constitution, the president is empowered to appoint ministers and ministry secretaries. According to the Constitution, an investigation committee with foreign judges cannot be appointed to inquire into the alleged baseless allegations levelled at the war heroes. The government withdrew from the agreement signed contradictory to that position by the former government in 2015. The minister said that he told the council that an inquiry can be conducted according to the constitution and within the judicial framework. Accordingly, the president has appointed a committee of inquiry headed by the Supreme Court Justice. The Human Rights High Commissioner's Secretariat has prepared the report highlighting this point, at times presenting contradictory details against Sri Lanka. Such reports are being prepared regarding another 9 countries. It was agreed at the inception that the fundamental policy of the Human Rights Council is not to pass a resolution selecting countries. But today the agency has become a part of an international program to create internal problems in the countries by passing resolutions after selecting countries. Continuing with more local stories, Cabinet spokesman Minister Kehele Rambukwala says that system of the present government is to solve problems through discussions. He said that a cabinet subcommittee was appointed to study and make recommendations of the report of the Presidential Commission on Easter Sunday attack, according to proper methodology. Mr. Kehele Rambukwala mentioned this while attending the opening of product stall of Kundasale Gal Maduwa Kalapura artists. The creators, who are residents in the village since 1964, make copper, gold and batik related products. The new trade stall has been named as Visvakala. Kundasale's Divisional Secretariat has coordinated the program. Central Province Governor Lalit U. Gamage was present on the occasion. Minister Keheli Rabukwala said that the Cardinal has the right to express his views and he respects it. He said that it is a tradition to make future course of action in a situation like this after analysing it through a cabinet subcommittee. He said that if there are shortcomings in the tradition, that can be discussed.
අපිට ඒක සාකච්ඡා කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි බොහොම සාකච්ඡාවෙන් සම්මුතියෙන් කටයුතු කරන රජයක්. මේක අර කීවා වගේ ඒකාධිපති ස්වරූපයකින් සියලු දේ Tamanට උමන ආකාරයට එහෙම නැත්නම් කාගේවත් අදහස් වලට ගරු නොකරමින් කරන රජයක් නෙමෙයි. දැන් පෙලක් වෙලාට එතකොට කියනවා අන්න අකුල ගත්ත අය, තා ගත්ත අය. දැන් මේක හරි පුදුම කතාවක් නේ. බොර රටේ එක පැත්තක් කියනවා කිසි සාකච්ඡාවක් කරන්න. අපේ මතයක් තියෙනවා. අපේ මතය ඉදිරිපත් කරපුවාම කියනවා මේ මතය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න අපිට පුළුවන් වුණත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ තුනෙන් දෙක බලයක් තියෙනවා අපිට ජනතාව බලය තියෙනවා. හැබැයි අපි පුළුල්ලු සංවාදයකට යනකොට කියන සංවාදයේදී සමහරක් විට අදහස් වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ සංවාදය තුල උන්ගේ අදහස් ඉදිරිපත්.
Launching of the website of Kandy Watapalua Teddy's Castle School for Special Needs Students took place yesterday on the patronage of Minister Keheli Rabukwala. Speaking on the occasion, the minister said it was important to use modern technology when giving prominence to such children. The government does not act like a dictator. There are contradictory statements, but the views can be different when a discussion takes place on such matters. The minister said that the state administration is done with a broad dialogue. When it is done like that, various expressions are being made. However, he said that the government will move forward with necessary measures.
Handing over of loans to cooperative societies in the eastern province to purchase paddy took place yesterday at Batiklo Devanayagam Hall under the patronage of Trade Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. 73 million rupees was given to 12 cooperative societies with the aim of allowing to sell paddy conveniently to the public, while the State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna, Batiklo District public representatives, state officials and a group of people were present on the occasion. Opening of a new food storage complex to store paddy and other food items produced in the Batiklo district took place yesterday under the patronage of Minister Bandula Gunawardena. It has been set up in the Batiklo town at a cost of 80 million rupees. A group of people, including State Minister Sadasivam Vidyalendran, were present on the occasion. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the government's policy for next 3 years is to provide a guaranteed price of rupees 50 for a kilogram of paddy for the farmers and to provide rice less than 100 rupees to the consumers. He said that the government is aware of the existence of the rice mafia and a paddy mafia that obstruct to balance the two objectives. Therefore, the government has not been able to purchase the paddy stocks expected to be purchased from the district so far. He said racketeers who had come from various areas have taken away the paddy into different regions. The minister said that he will not allow to take away paddy to the Batiklo district from the next season. Harvesting of paddy in the Vavuniya district has commenced. 19,000 hectares of paddy have been cultivated and the Vavuniya Agriculture Director's Office say they expect a harvest of 92,200 metric tons. A successful harvest has been received this time due to government issuing fertilizer on due dates and to due sufficient rains. Purchasing of paddy in Ampara, Panama area in continuing. Plans have been made to purchase 5,000 kilograms of paddy from each farmer by the Panama Agrarian Services Center.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party and former MP Ruwan Wijewardena says that there were shortcomings and wrongs committed to party members during their administration. During a meeting in Mathura today, he said that there was no one at party headquarters, Sirikota, when they had power even to listen to the grievances of party members. Mathura district reorganizing activities of the United National Party commenced today. A group of people, including former parliamentarians, attended the meeting. Members of the party requested to remove thieves and those who robbed from Gamperlia. They said that people cannot get an idea due to such problems. They said that this situation has occurred as then ministers did not look into the needs of the party members. Deputy Leader of the United National Party and former MP Ruwan Wijewardena said that wrongs were committed to their members during the administration of their government. He said that it is why they received such a result during the previous election. There was no opportunity for a provincial council member to meet a minister. When a wrong was committed to a party member, the party did not intervene to correct it. When the government was in power, there was no one at Sirikota for the party members to speak about their grievances. And the 33rd commemoration of the founder of Sri Lanka Mahajana Party Vijaya Kumaratunga took place today at Colombo New Town Hall. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was the chief guest at the ceremony. Former General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Communist Party D.E.W. Gunasekara delivered the commemorative oration. Leader of the Democratic Left Front, Minister Vasudeva Nanayakkara, Leader of the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, Leader of the Pivithuru Helurumya, Minister Udaya Gamampila, General Secretary of the SLFP State Minister Dasi Jayasekara, Leader of the Lanka Samasamaja Party Tissa Vitharna, Secretary of the Socialist People's Front, Northwestern Province Governor Raja Kulure, and Chief Secretary of the Sri Lanka Mahajana Party, MP Asanka Navaratna, were present on the occasion. Electorate meetings of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna are being conducted successfully throughout the island, according to health instructions. The theme of the meeting is Siu Desa Suraki Siu Wasara. Tissamaharam Women's Electorate Seat meeting of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna took place today at Hambantota Singapore Conference Hall. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa attended as the chief guest. Said Mr. Sita Arambepola, MP Upul Galapati and Hambantota Mayor Eraj Ravindra Fernando were present at the meeting. Aliagoda Women's Electorate Seat meeting took place in Parakadua area. MP Kokila Gunawardena, convener of the Women's Conference Ashoka Lanka Tilaka, executive member, former Governor Kumari Balasurya, former chairman of Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council Kanchana Jaratna, and party activists were present on the occasion. Hiriyala Women's Electorate Seat meeting of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held today at Ibagamo Town Hall. MP Kokila Gunawardena attended the event as chief guest. Parliamentarian UK Sumit Udukumbura organised the meeting. A group of people, including the Mahasangha and Pradesha Sabha members, attended the meeting. Kurunegala Electorate Seat meeting of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held yesterday under the patronage of MP Kokila Gunawardena. Former MP Jayaratna Herath was also at the meeting.
There is a high demand for clay-related products in the northwestern province. Clay product users say they find it difficult to meet the demand for the products. The highest demand is for the products related to pots that can be used to cook food with gas. Many products, including pots to be used with gas, are being manufactured at Kalimula village in Mahavawa Divisional Secretariat area. The clay deposits that are more suitable for the products can be found in the village. That has increased the demand. The producers say that they are taking measures to export clay-related products. They pointed out that setting up of a ministry to uplift local industries, including clay products, has contributed to high demand of their products.
And that's it for tonight's news. To watch us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.